going on, everybody? I don't know why we ain't had no music the whole time. You know, it's scary when you don't have no music the whole time and it come in the last 60 seconds. It scares you. It's scary. You have to talk to the person that produces the show. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
10
say no
minutes.
name.
Yeah, 10 minutes. It just went opposite this time. We've had this discussion already.
I don't know why we can't get music for 10 minutes.
We need some new music.
What'd you say?
And the file is too big for music for 10 minutes. The producer, fix it. But I can't upload it with full music. You can get 1 minute. It's big enough for 5 minutes of music, but 10 minutes, it won't upload.
Even with the compression,
It will not upload.
mm, I find this very hard to believe.
Hey, again, be my guest.
I would. I am the solution. I'm a solution. That's what I do. I
You
present
are.
solutions.
We'll see if you have it ready by next week.
Where you at with that old wall in 1920s? Old wall.
The same place you got with that old curtain in the back with the, that old yellow light.
That's all you need. It was less light than that for the slaves to run away under the Underground Railroad.
Okay. We at the same place.
How's your week, D?
It's been eventful. Obviously.
Yeah,
It's been
you need
eventful.
headphones on.
Well, I don't have any.
I have a pair. Would you like to borrow a pair?
Whatever you like.
I have a pair.
I do have some
Are
headphones.
you on your hotspot?
No,
Hmm.
no. And the Wi-Fi that I'm connected to, I don't know if you get all like full length, but I don't. So I don't know.
Kind of
Is there a
choppy.
delay? Because I don't see any delay. In the last show, I didn't have a delay either.
No, it's kind of choppy here and there.
Are you guys getting it choppy? Am I coming in choppy for everybody? Let me know if
No,
I'm coming in choppy.
either way you go. Do you want these headphones? No, yay.
I'm waiting for comments from the people.
Man, they
You
ain't
get on
nobody
the
gonna
same
come in. They
Wi-Fi.
ain't here yet. The folks that chat ain't
We
here
got
yet.
12 people here.
Yeah, the folks that chat ain't here yet. They just watch. All right. So yo, how was your birthday week? It was good. It was eventful.
Oh yeah, I'm exhausted. I got to rest a little bit last night, but I don't think it was well deserved. I think some
What you
friends
say you
are
got to
gonna
rest a
be.
little bit last night? What?
I got to rest a little bit last night, but I don't think it was welcomed because it was Friday night in the A. I went to bed. I was tired. It's been.
Okay, so I'm gonna help you here because I have a hard time hearing you.
Do
You
you have a hard time
no,
hearing
no,
me?
listen, let me help you. When you talk, you talk like this. I had a good time, and you do that. You talk down. Like when you talk down, and so it makes it hard to hear. So I don't hear the last little thing that you say. So you project on the beginning of your speech, and then afterwards you kind of fade off, and so it
We
makes
have
it.
to have that whole conversation right now.
Now I'm just helping you for the show. When you're in the show, just be
You
mindful.
can put that in private chat.
No,
Okay.
be mindful when you're talking. That's
All
all.
right.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I read your lips when I'm watching you, because sometimes I can't hear you either. But I make sure that I'm looking in your mouth so I can hear what you're saying. But anyways, it goes. I had a great birthday week. Thanks, at least you did make it. We appreciate you and the tech ties of the last show.
Too much to type in private chat. It's just easy for me to tell
It's
you.
over, Tamika. It's over. Let's just move on.
Too much to type. You okay? No? Yeah? I don't think she okay, folks. That's what I'm going with. That's my story and I'm sticking to it.
What are we talking about today?
Whatever you want, whatever you like,
I appreciate that.
whatever you like. All right. So last week was Red Hat Festival or Red Hat Summit. And I kind of covered some of this on the meetup, but I'm going to cover this now. So you have, if you have an account, you probably can watch the on demand stuff, but here's the in person stuff and then on demand. Let me blow it up. It looks a little blurry on my screen. I don't understand why it be so blurry on my screen to your screen. Where the AI girlfriends? Yeah, I gotta get it going. I told you I'm gonna make one. All right, so in here you can see once you log in, you get your in-person ones and then on demand. Let me see if the in-person ones can we watch that? I don't think you can. Let me look. No, they just have a PDF and let me see. The top 10 red rail features everyone should be using. All right, let's go down their path. The top 10 rail features everyone should be using. And this was by the senior product manager. I don't have a name, and the principal software engineer. And then Lucas Vebrick is a security product owner on Rail. Top challenges for security. You can see here mitigating risk, security, and hybrid cloud and compliance complexity. So let's start right here. Mitigating risk, right? Defending against attacks and closing potential security gaps on the OS is often at risk. When we're looking at this, right? When we're talking about mitigating risk, you do that every day. D, what's some ways that you mitigate risk every single day?
By feeding you so you won't get hungry. It's
What
definitely not a
what
good look.
else? What else? Do you share passwords? Do you write passwords down?
Oh no, I follow the rules when it comes to that. I don't share passwords. At my job, when I see strange emails come across, I hit the fish button or send it where it needs to go, so that I got my little brownie points for that. But and also I'm taking a security course, so and I am like I don't know what I want to call me, but I am a little like weary of strange things. Like I'm very
You
cautious
wear it
of myself.
everybody. You wear it everybody.
Exactly. So it's easier for me to just be like, I'm not doing that. I'm not good with that. That don't look too
So
good.
what's the day to day things you all do for mitigate risk? Hopefully you have your location turned off when you take pictures.
Oh yeah.
Um,
I don't keep my location on. I don't have like my photos time stamped or anything like that. When I park, I'm race ready. I'm cautious on like when I get off of exits, but when it comes to computers, I lock my screen down. Um, Sites, I'm like wary of sites. If the little Google is not
you
secure
froze.
comes on, I really don't fool with it. Um,
You froze a little
Even
bit.
tracking on websites, the tracking when you go in and the cookies and all that stuff. If I need that website, I'm doing the purely functional ones. I don't want any advertisement, any marketing or things of that nature. I turn off on my browsers. If I'm not using my microphone or my camera, that stuff is off. So there's a lot of things that I do. I don't get on strange Wi-Fi. I have Wi-Fi on my phone.
Two-factor
So
authentication, yeah.
two factor is great. A
Right.
lot of people haven't
So
updated to two
here's the
factor.
other thing about mitigating risk. Social engineering is huge. A lot of y'all have y'all Instagram public.
Oh,
A lot of y'all have your Instagram public, right? And this is talking about OS, but I'm also relating it back to you as a person. A lot of you have most of your stuff is public. Your marriage license, all that stuff is public. Just things like that. All right, security in a hybrid cloud. Enterprise must ensure consistent security controls, apply comprehensive policies anywhere systems are deployed. There are no safe, trusted boundaries in a zero trust. In there are no safe there are no safe trusted boundaries in time of zero trust. Right, zero trust. Right. All right. So when we look at this security in a hybrid cloud, meaning on-prem and cloud, the DNS, the zones, locking down security on both ends. That's important. And also you can think of security controls and comprehensive policies. What you doing, D? You keep switching out. Comprehensive policies in your own home. How you have security policies and security controls in your own home. Now, compliance complexity. Without built-in compliance, meaning regulatory compliance requirements can be significant burden to for IT teams. All right, so Red Hat Enterprise Linux security benefits, modern layered security capabilities to reduce, automated patching and remediation without downtime, security development lifecycle processes. And the only thing about I want to say about security automation and patching, be careful with that because sometimes you may get an upgrade in say a Python or a Java and the machines and the application that's using a particular Java or a particular Python may be a problem and they have not tested that version or something like that. So they may need for you to roll back those particular versions and so forth. So be careful on the automated part side. Built-in compliance tools to meet security standards, consistent security controls across the hybrid cloud, and workload security in any public cloud environments. OS with security built in by default. Again, mitigate, secure, comply. We've seen that. But here's a good one right here. Here's a good uh, diagram right here. Perform static code analysis across the code base, right? Because I don't know how many people in here remember SolarWinds. You remember SolarWinds, D?
yes, ma'am.
They got attacked at the core of their actual software. So a lot of people have been looking at S bombs, uh, SBOM, S bombs, for making sure that your code is secure, right? Minimize security flaws before shipping and improve upstream open source, prevent stack smashing, and mitigate memory corruption with compiler flags and maintain thorough patching of security flaws. So here they got continuous security updates, upstream first, and community leadership. They have a Bugzilla review, track the packages and release. Remember, Fedora is the upstream. CentOS was the upstream as well, but Fedora is more the upstream of what you see in Fedora will eventually be in Red Hat. Package selected for inclusion into Red Hat Enterprise and security scanning. This right here is going to be your biggest thing if you're doing DevSecOps or SRE or whatnot. It's going to be your biggest thing right here. But they're going to ask you to do security scanning on your of your code, whether it's Terraform or Python or Rust or Go, whether you're building an application in a container, Java, whatever, and then scan it and then test it, right? We got to test it, make sure once testing is passed, we give it a signature and then secure it to distribution and then continue security updates. All right, let's go back here. System-wide cryptography policies for modern enterprises. Number 2, let's talk about SE Linux, your favorite thing in the world, people. A lot of people do what they do, they turn it off. Or they leave it on, but they just leave it in permissive mode and then just let it do what it's going to do. Kernel live patching. All right, so when you update your kernel, does everybody remember what the kernel is? It's the key. It's the key thing to your Windows and your Linux operating system. Kernel allows you to talk to your actual hardware via the drivers. So if I have some new hardware via USB, or D goes out and buy that new mouse or that new machine, the new display, it may need a driver. So the kernel needs to know what I'm supposed to do with it, right? It needs a driver. That's what the kernel handles. You can address security issues without reboots, covers or critical and important CVEs, ideal for mission critical uptime, integrated with Red Hat Satellite Server. And most people don't get Red Hat Satellite by default. Like you, if you register your instance that you created on your laptop with Red Hat, you'll get the Red Hat Satellite. You'll get updates and so forth. But by default, no. The heart of the OS, yes. Secure hardware root of trust, help verify system integrity. Remote attestation and measure boot edge. Let's read that. During secure boot, kernel, loadable modules, and boot environment are cryptography measured. Measure also runtime binaries before execution. Measurement compute using tamper resistant hardware, or you don't want to, like if you're in a data center. So imagine this: say you are working for Women in Linux, and Women in Linux has a machine out in somebody's data center. Should anybody be able to just to walk up to that machine and plug in what they want to plug into that machine, and then do whatever? You want to minimize that. You want to minimize that. So if you got hardware sitting out in a data center somewhere, you want to only have the ports that you need actively on. All the USB ports don't need to be on, but some people leave them on, but you can turn them off, right? The next one is as attestation agents collects measurements and sends to attestation verifier. The verifier maintains a list of good known measurements and compares incoming measurement. If the system was compromised, the verifier will detect this and the remediation can take place. A remediation framework exists for customers to create their own actions based on the verification process. They got 5B with, you've probably seen this if you work with FA Policy D. You've probably seen that prevents unauthorized access. Then they got here verified cert security certifications help meet regulatory requirements. Benefits from Red Hat market leading commitment to certification FIPS, security claims validated by common criteria, and also HIPAA as well too. Right? They want to make sure that their OS is HIPAA compliant, FIPS compliant, and whatever other compliance that you need to meet. You got your OSCAP, which is built in, and that's what where you start looking at your vulnerabilities and so forth. And they actually have a live demo. Let me see. Let me click on that. See if it actually works. Here we go, right here. Let's go. It's a hands-on lab. It looks like. Oh, I gotta do a hands-on lab. Okay. Yeah, this is a hands-on lab. I don't want to do that. I want a video. All right, boom, boom. We are here. System roles, streamline security configuration and management, automate security config. And y'all should know about system roles that are in AWS. This is part of that too. The system roles, automate security configuration and maintain consistency across all environments over time, ensure security and compliance at scale with less resources, and use automation to meet governance and compliance. Red Hat Insights, again, those CVEs, I talked about this. You can go to the CVE database and look at what CVEs are, what they stand for, and how to mitigate those CVEs. Sometimes you may have a critical CVE, and the person, whoever's over whatever critical it is, they got to release an update, a security update, and then you have to apply that security update to your OS. Easy data protection using network bound disk encryption. D, do you encrypt your disk, your hard drive on your laptop? I
Yeah,
think
I'm
about
not sure.
I
My
think
my
I think
external hard drive or the one that's already in there.
the one that's already in there. I think Mac does it by default. I think.
I was about to say I think my Mac already does it, and then I have some security features on my external one. Yes.
So encrypting your disk is another situation. Identity management. Most of you probably won't even reach identity management, but you might. Policy management. Yeah, I can see that. Authentication with external identity providers, OAuth, your Okta, um, Keycloak here. That's it. That was just one. It's just an overview. Let me go back up here to tracks or session catalog. It may be tracks. Oh yeah, underman. I know what I want. I want Delta. I want to talk about Delta. So the day in the life of a P platform as a service team selling a scale fleet of Red Hat OpenShift services on AWS. Their GitLab runners. Let's watch this. I'm not sure how long it is. Let's close that. Let's play this. 22 minutes. We'll watch 10. I'll tell you some good stuff out of it. Let me turn my sound up.
Hello, and welcome to the Red Hat Summit 2023 Content Hub. We're so excited to see you to join us for this session. My name is Aaron Morris. I'm going to be talking about the day in the life of a PASS team sailing a scaled fleet of Red.
So PASS team, PASS, platform as a service. Platform as a service. They're using OpenShift ROSA because they're in AWS as a service, and ARO would be in Azure. So let's get back to it.
Hat OpenShift service on the AWS or ROSA. Our agenda today is who we are, where we are, a day in the life, how we got here, and what you can learn from our experience. So again, my name is Aaron Morris. I've been at Delta Airlines for 6 years this time. This is my third try at Delta. I worked on the ramp in college and then worked as a storage admin for a couple of years at another point. So I've been in the PASS team for 4 years now. So I think that's it for me. Go ahead, Manny.
Hey everyone, this is Manikanta Palapathu. I'm a senior OpenShift engineer.
I don't know what he said. He said what?
Manakata Palaputu.
Say it again.
Manakata Palaputu.
I'm gonna let him do it again.
So I've been in the PASS team for 4 years now. So I think that's it for me. Go ahead, Manny.
Hey everyone, this is Manikanta Palapathu. I'm a senior OpenShift engineer with Delta Airlines. I've
not
been with
believe
the team
me?
for almost.
And the fact that I don't believe you, I just look at it from this perspective. They be like Donquavius and all of them, and I be looking at their names. I'm like, they're not too far from Donquavius and them.
No. but they do get shortened because the first name and the last name field only takes a certain amount of characters. And this was verified from family members that worked in the Social Security office. So if you come to the US and your name has a lot of characters in it, the system only takes so many, so it's going to be shortened. You can write it out, but the system is only going to take so many characters.
I'm just saying.
But
4
you
years.
already know
I started off as a contractor, and now I'm a Delta employee. I've been on this OpenShift journey for almost 5 years, and with the Delta, it's almost 4 years.
Hey, and I'm Flynn Galbraith. I'm the cloud engineering manager with Delta. I've been here for 6 years. This is my second time around at Delta. I run multiple teams, but the PAS team is one of the teams that I support.
Now the question is, why they leave Delta and keep coming back? That's the question I would have. Second time around, my fourth time around, they just go to various parts. I don't know. I have questions.
So who we are, I'm going to describe who we are today. During the presentation, we will unpack how we got here. I'll talk about the team size, the number of clusters, and what we do as a team. Started the journey in 2017 with no Kubernetes experience. We started with 2 PaaS engineers, some contractors, a few Red Hat consultants, and some dev tool engineers who helped with our CI/CD pipeline. During the COVID, we shrunk our team down to just keep the lights on. Very small team at that time. In 2021, we began a public cloud initiative. We decided to leverage ROSA for that environment.
Now look how many people they got. 5 team members, 3 contractors, and 3 Red Hat consultants. It's probably a big thing, but those Red Hat consultants probably guide them, not necessarily do the work on what the best practices are and what they need to do. As well as not just guiding best services and best practices on what they need to do. It's also probably help them get to the landmarks that they need. Now, being that they got 3 Red Hat consultants tells me the projects are pretty big and they probably hit different domains. And each one of those consultants have different various expertise in different domains when it comes to platform, tools, writing code, GitOps, DevSecOps, OpenShift, containers, security, best practices from Red Hat. Hey, Delta needs to have this patched up right now. They can't wait 6 months for the patch. They need a patch right now. So they probably have some type of working relationship with them when it comes to that as well too, where they can get the patch they need right now.
Building that team back for automation and support.
And I just want to say this is the difference between, a lot of people ask, well, why can't I just install OpenShift by myself? You can, but when you use a product like Red Hat, you get vendor support. And you also get a steady stream of vendor support, security support, and as well as you get people that can actually help you to actually go through it. When you use OpenShift, you can get, or even just Linux in general, say you use Ubuntu, or you use something that doesn't have like a product support behind it, you end up getting what you get. And that's just the reality of it, right? So let's get back to it.
So our on-prem environment, we have 20 clusters running multiple applications.
All right, so they got 20 clusters running multiple applications. They got 320 ROSA clusters. 320 ROSA clusters. They only look like they got about 11 people, right? 340 clusters in all, and they add 2 to 5 clusters a week, right? So that gives you an idea of what they're looking at. So when I tell you to be the solution, this is what I'm telling you. There's 20 of them on-prem. And ROSA clusters are AWS based OpenShift clusters in AWS. So there's 320 of those. And they got some on-prem. So that gives you an idea.
of a multi-tenant model. When we moved to ROSA, we took on a single tenant approach. So we had one cluster to one application. We have a very large cluster pool at this point. We've decided to actually take a multi-tenant approach in AWS in the near future. So this is going to help us reduce sprawl, reduce cost, and simplify support. So this is a little bit about our full stack team. We actually design how we're going to do our deployments and build automation into that design. Then we actually do the deployments. And as we finish the deployments, of course, we support the clusters and make.
So they got design. A lot of you probably won't be here on the design side. You'll probably be here on the operating support, because on the design side, it's going to require you to understand networking. It's going to require you to understand the servers and the capacity, the containers, also the disk, the speed of the disk. It's also going to require you to know a lot of different things. So when you all are up here looking at like, hey, I want to be on the design side, you may have to build up to be on that design side. Remember, we're talking about clusters that you build to scale, regardless of the network load traffic. You want it to be able to handle those things. So that comes with time. So you'll learn that through time. You'll learn that, right? Drop a 1 in the chat if you understand what I mean. All right, let's get back to it.
Making sure that they are resilient and they're up to date. We also have a support base with our customers. We deliver documentation, education, and we do interactive support through chats with our customer base. Next, Aaron will be discussing our journey.
Yep, so I'll talk about our OpenShift timeline. We started out with OpenShift 3.7. We ordered hardware for the environment, but
let's get through this. So OpenShift 3.7, this was 2018 Q1 all the way up to 2023. So they started out with no Kubernetes experience to now they're running 300 clusters. And that's over a 3-year time frame. Do you think in 3 years you can learn ROSA, how to scale, how to operate, how to manage it, how to secure it, and so forth? That's what you're looking at here, right? And then they looked at like permanent hardware, 60 apps migrated. They migrated to the cloud, 80 apps in mission critical POC installation at AWS OCP, right? Then they got hit with the pandemic, 100 apps in OCP. We made a decision to move the majority of applications to the cloud. In the beginning of 2021, AWS was chosen as the cloud provider. ROSA was chosen as the container solution or orchestration. And then that's where they're at right here. It really got to ROSA right here in 2021. So in 2 years, these were bumps and bruises. This was bumps and bruises. What should we do? What we shouldn't do? How does it work? What are our options? They probably had a bake-off where they chose between different things and so forth, and then got here. Let's go.
Still building one of the rooms in the data center, so we didn't get the permanent hardware yet. So we scrounged around and found some blades in our 3 different data centers. For us.
All right, so I skipped this stuff. So here's his on-prem architecture here. It's very hard to see, but I will have to download this. But here they have their on-prem OpenShift architecture. Again, OpenShift can be run on-prem and it can be run in the cloud, right? So here they got a set of blades right here. They have vSphere, which is VMware, right? And then they got OpenShift on top of that, and then they have an F5 load balancer. So this is what they're looking at right here, right? You can get this set up at home. You can buy a blade chassis. You can get VMware vSphere installed, put OpenShift on there, set up your networking, because it looks like they got They don't have what they have for the networking piece here with their blade chassis. It's a flash stack, so they're just all flash drives. Then they got 310 CPUs, 3x8 APUs, 15 by 16, and then 2 by 32. And then they got their Kubernetes clusters, 3 master nodes, 3 infrastructure nodes, 39 workers. So you would need, multiple uh, blades in order to make those 39 workers. But you don't have to scale it out as they did. You can do 3, 3, and 6. And then here they have their load balancer. So this is what you could do. You could build the OpenShift cluster at home. You can literally build this at home. The one thing you would have to be bothered with is the networking. Let me see if I can fast forward through this. All right, so here's how they got it set up at AWS. All right, let's go back. Let me see where it starts to pick up at. Right here. All right, let's go.
The cluster name and a few other things. And there's a Lambda. It's called pre-flight check. It's a custom resource. It sends a payload to a pre-flight SNS, which then goes to a pre-flight check trigger that runs the.
Do y'all know what SNS is? Messaging queue. Lambda, probably written in Python, a script that triggers on some type of, that runs on some type of trigger from something automated. And then they also have, when he said his pre-flight checker, I'm assuming they're doing some type of some type of check to see if everything is in place. Are these things in place? There's a script that goes out and say, what region am I in? Is this the right region? Like a checklist. But you can see here the cluster check state machine check to see if the cluster exists. Pre-smoke test the CFT version. Cluster to create the state machine where they got AD, account roles, pre-smoke test, wait for the cluster to be built, gather cluster info, call day 2 ops step function. And then here, day 2 ops, describe the cluster, associate R53 hosted zone, wait for the hosted zone to populate, get API, configure MFA, add a cluster to GitOps, wait for GitOps to sync, approve operator install, smoke test, delete HTTP password, and send successfully feature back. And this looks like them building out the cluster, how they build out that cluster. That's what that looks like. And then now the challenges that they had when building it out. Let's go.
Like a few of the challenges we have faced because of fleet of clusters we need to manage as a PaaS admins. So one of the major issue here is having the cluster configuration consistency across the clusters. So as a PaaS admins, there is a high possibility we mess up the cluster configurations if we manually go ahead and maintain this 300 clusters configurations. And the other one is a security. There is a possibility that a developer or some other team may get more privileges than they're required for running their applications because of the RBAC. And there is a chance those resources might get deleted by accidentally or something. And the other one is the resource production. So there is also a chance people go ahead and act.
All right, resource reduction. So I'm guilty of this. You spin up a cluster, you spin up something. D, you probably done this. You spin up something somewhere, you play with it, you forget about it, you walk away. 2 days later, still up and running, you get billed for it. You done it too.
No, you know why I haven't done it? Because it's always make sure you shut it down in all the directions. Be like, make sure you shut this down. Make sure you shut this down. And then
that don't be the directions I get because I'm not following no directions. I'm just building and testing out
exactly.
Stuff.
And then you be like, oh, I kept that on. You know how much my bill was? So I just It's good practice, my G.
No,
It's good
no,
practice.
it's not good practice. What is good practice
If
is
you're learning, it's good practice.
it's not good practice just to shut it off, though.
No, I just don't shut it off.
You got to shut it off gracefully.
Correctly. I understand that.
Right. Don't just go up there and be like, D said turn it off. And then your stuff don't come back up. I didn't do it.
You made all that stuff up.
D said turn it off. D gonna have your cluster all out of whack.
No, D is not.
All right, let's get back to it.
Only delete the Kubernetes resources, and it's hard to get back this configuration
correct.
because it's not stashed somewhere anywhere else in the Git or source repositories. The other one is the compliance part. Making it's very hard if there is no automated way to maintain the cluster policies, requirements, upgrades, and the versions to be consistent. So we gave a deep thought, and there are some other Red Hat consultants too work together with us on solutioning out this GitOps and Argo-based approach. So initially, while discussing this approach with the team and with Red Hat consultants, we came across operator that's being shipped as Red Hat catalog item, which is called OpenShift GitOps operator.
Yeah, so this is what's gonna take you all to advanced settings is the operators that you can deploy onto a Kubernetes clusters to handle certain things for you. I'm not going to go through the whole video. I just want to point out what was at the conference as far as like GitOps and Delta and who and what they were talking about. When we come back over here, and I did a filter here. Let me blow this up some. I did a filter on the track, like infrastructure, automation at the edge, and then cloud, right? I'm an infrastructure person. So I want to know what they got on demand for infrastructure. So here, managing enterprise data platform on Rail 9. By the numbers, what we learned about key open source industry trends. Co-create your business case for strategic investments with Red Hat. Right? They just talked about it's a non-technical track right here. Here, collaborate, innovate. It takes courage. Connecting your systems and workload to Red Hat. Built-in security, lights, camera, open leadership in action. This was done by Community Project and Red Hat Consulting. Let's look up Red Hat Consult. I know what it is, but we'll look it up. And here's new generation compilers and Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Go and Rust. I'm trying to tell you. It's coming. Clusters. The roadmap. Here's what's on the next version of Red Hat that's coming out, what they got on their roadmap, what they're integrating. Save time by migrating from CentOS to Linux. From the cloud to your on-premise data center. Rust is not complicated. OpenStack platform. Here you go. OpenStack services on Red Hat OpenShift. Zero Trust. And it just gives you an overview of what they had. That's what I got out of this. I like some of the stuff. Some stuff I just couldn't get to. And some of the stuff I was like, I'm too tired to walk. But you can also come here and sort by your audience and so forth. Sort by the industry if you want to get into stuff that's dealing with Oil and gas utilities. Let's go back up here. Let's get rid of infrastructure. And here's two on demand on BP's transformation journey to Red Hat OpenShift. BP. You know who BP is. Here, this is bringing Red Hat Automation Ansible platform to the industrial edge. But you know who BP is. They were talking about here. Let's see. In BP's trading and shipping division, they recap why BP chose Rosa, outlined the migration pilot journey, share details about post-migration activities, and discuss the BP and Red Hat working relationship. So there you go. You can work at BP doing Rosa OpenShift and still have a job. It'd be in a different industry, right? D. What are your thoughts on going to the Red Hat Summit from your perspective? Not this year, but just your experience. You were doing something you weren't supposed to be doing?
No, I was thinking about, what I wanted to share from the Red Hat Summit.
Nobody wants to hear about you being bitten.
I'm not sharing that. But I was also thinking about when was the last time I've been at the Red Hat Summit. And I know that it has, it's not as big as the first time I went. I think I've been chasing that high. Like the first time that I went, it was my first tech conference. It was huge. It had all these vendors, big vendors, Samsung, Verizon. It was everybody there. It's just the magnitude of people there. But as far as the tracks and the training, there is so much to learn, so much to do. And remembering that if you miss something, like a seminar or a lab or anything, that you can catch it after the conference is over. So don't stress yourself out if you didn't make it to a conference. But I enjoy the Red Hat conference.
I would say not all of them though. Not all
Well,
of them.
I mean, I guess not all of them. But I enjoy the conference. I enjoy the networking at the conference. I enjoy the camaraderie of people that you work with over the course of a year virtually, and you finally get to meet them in person and break bread and just basically talk shop. So it all kind of comes together. But yeah, my mind, I was kind of filtering through the conferences that we've been to.
Right. The other thing I would add to this is also being mindful that you're always in the search of new opportunities. So networking with people and seeing who's hiring, who's not, is going to be super important. 1 second. So when you're looking at going to a conference, my best suggestion is see who's going to be there. See if you can see the attendee list. See if you can link up with people. And go from there, because that's going to help you navigate too, because maybe you can link up with them prior to the conference on LinkedIn or in because most of the time there's an app. Well, let me pull it up. Actually, let me pull up the app because they all have an app. Oh, 1 second. Yeah. All right. So this is what the app looks like, right? Right here. Welcome to Red Hat Summit, Tamika. Right, and then you go view all your sessions. And so then they have the sessions broken down. Oh, you can't even see it like that. Let me see. Okay, there we go. My schedule, how everything is broken down. You can see that, right? And you get the favorite or add it to your schedule or so forth and so on. So that's how that works. So you get a chance to go on your phone. Now, what I didn't like about the app was if I was scheduled for a conference and I saw something else come up, I couldn't unschedule myself for the one talk that I'm already scheduled for and then schedule for the other one. On the desktop, it would let you do that, but on the app, it wouldn't. So there's still some kinks with the app that they need to work out. So on that, say for instance, I want to go to a talk at 10 o'clock and I added it to my schedule. But let's say I see another talk that I want to go to, and I'm like, oh, let me add that to my schedule. It wouldn't let it add that to my schedule. I can only favor it. But then you have to then set up alerts on your phone to let you know when all these things are going off, so that way you can pick and choose what you want to go to. Because if not, it's just gonna show you what's added to your schedule. You're not gonna see all those other things. So what I did was, before I went to the conference, I went and selected the times that I was going to be there, and then I went through and selected what I want to see, and I added something to my schedule on the desktop, and I favored the other ones. And as time went on throughout the conference, the night before, I was like, I don't want to see that talk. I'm gonna add this to the talk. Now, here's the other problem with the labs. The labs are first come, first serve, and there's a wait list. So what they did was, anybody who added it to their schedule and went, and you went and you showed up for it, you would automatically get in. And if you was on the wait list, you had to stand in line. And being that you're on the wait list and the people don't show up, or if people do show up, they'll let you in. The problem with that is, you may be on a wait list for, say, open Rosa on AWS. They may have 50 people in a room or 30 people in a room, and 28 of them show up, but it's 20 of y'all on the wait list. So what they did was, they started having multiple days. Now, here's the other problem. And this is when you gotta do your math. Some of the stuff is over multiple days, but one may be at 11:30 and another one may be at 7:30 on the Thursday morning. So if you went partying the night before at the Ansible Fest or some party, and you went around, walking around Boston, and you tossing back drinks and food, and you out to 4 o'clock in the morning, but you got to be down the street and ready to go at 7:30, you probably won't make that. So you got to figure out what's going to be your better option and what you want to do. Now, here's what other people do. Some people just go strictly to the labs. They don't care nothing about what nobody talking about. They just go straight for the labs. So let me show you the labs. All right, so let me do this, and then let me just do labs. Where's that at? Audience, industry. Oh, they don't have just the labs. Let me go ahead, section catalog. And maybe under tracks. No, maybe my tracks. Let me double verify. No. All right, let me see if I can find just the labs. Here it is, right here, lab. Okay, so here's the lab. You see, they're not on demand, but they had 25 labs. So you can have a lab accelerate new application development with Red Hat. And you can see here it's got 2 sessions, from 1 to 3 on Wednesday, and then from 3:30 to 5:30. And then achieve business continuity with OpenShift Container. Well, look, they got one at Tuesday at 2:30, but the next one is Thursday at 8 o'clock in the morning to 10. Now, the keynote, there may be a keynote going on at 9 o'clock, so you will miss that keynote. So you have to figure out what's going to be important to you. Catching the keynote, which you can watch on the replay, or you can just watch this live, or you can go to the lab, right? See, multiple days, and then the last one is at 8 o'clock. Thursday is the last day, so they usually get out of there about 3 o'clock on Thursday. So this just gives you an idea how to what your game plan is before you go to the conference. Is go through everything that you think you want to get a lab on, you want to have hands-on training on, this, that, and the other. Container security lab with Red Hat 9. That was May 3rd from 2:30 to 4:30. You will want to go to that. Right? So these are just little things that help you out before you go to any conference. But look and see what they're having. Don't wait till the day of. At least buy your ticket a month or two out. Go ahead and plan for your training. Go ahead and get those things done, because if not, you're gonna be sitting there at the conference. You'll be like, I can't get in nothing, and you're gonna be sitting in the expo hall or going walking around the city or something like that, which ain't a bad thing, but you can't kill two birds with one stone, right? That's all I had today. I just wanted to talk about the conference. You know, it's hard for you to believe. I just wanted to talk about the conference, what they had, what I saw at the conference. Um, what was the biggest thing? Uh, edge computing, AI, and a lot of things coming out of Ansible. Were the biggest themes that I saw at OpenShift. Ansible and OpenShift. That's why my boot camp is tailored towards Ansible and OpenShift. I already knew that. But I also knew that a lot of companies were uh, pushing being a platform, and that's what OpenShift allows them to do, is create a platform, and as well as scale, because people are looking for cloud architects. They're looking for people to design. How do you design your infrastructure for AI, and where can AI help your employees that need to get retrained? We saw that earlier. How are we going to use AI to help retrain people?
Yeah, there's some really good resources earlier that I want to look at. Can you hear
Right.
me? Okay.
Yeah. So these are things to keep in mind as you all go on along your tech journey. Um, there was some other stuff I had found, but we could talk about that another time, about how to use AI to create your learning course content and so forth. That's going to be a separate show,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of things there.
I would definitely like to know people's experience when it comes to if they are using any of the AI products out there, and if there has been like big differences between like the paid version and the free version.
No, some of the AI tracks that they had. Hold on. AI machine model tracks was here. Using AI machine models to drive banking operations. We've already seen this. We saw this with Charles Schwab with the intelligent advisor. We had already been seeing this. We've already been seeing how AI is going to influence banking, how AI is going to assist or destroy financial planning. How is that going to work? I think it's going to be more of assistant. I think we still need some human element to protecting our monies, but maybe not. Maybe we need protection from the humans. Maybe we need protection from the humans. Um, look here. All right, here, using Kepler to measure container energy consumption. Let's see. Let me look this up right here. Uh, right here. Monitoring container power consumption with Kepler. This is going to fall into your ESG. Don't be surprised if places like that are building new green renewable energy IoT container companies are not using this right here. Monitoring container power consumption with Kepler. Kepler exposes statistics from an application running in Kubernetes in a Prometheus friendly format and can be scraped by any database that understands this format, such as Prometheus assisted. Kepler exports a variety of container metrics to Prometheus, where the main ones are those related to the energy consumption. Energy consumption. That's going to be huge. Because as people work to get their I want to say their digital footprint, just the people work to get their footprint in the data center smaller, this is going to be one of those things. So research behind this, development, even going as far as ensuring that you can train a team in order to work at a better, if energy efficient quota, will also be jobs that I see created out of that. I see that as a new job. You're not energy efficient in the data center. So how do we get there? I see that being a job. At least someone training people to know how to do it. Banking are already using, and fraud detection, they're already using AI. Right? That's it, D.
I don't know. You need some medicine.
I had some medicine already. That's it. Any questions for anybody in the comments? I'll be on another 30 seconds. I guess a 1 minute. I should get 1 minute, huh?
Oh, I wanted to address Engineering's Candace's quote comment about the banks are using it. I work at a bank, and I went to a lunch and learn, and it was basically saying how I work with the high net worth group, but the group that is not high net worth, how, some of this, the AI and stuff, in charging fees and, and all of these checks and balances, that human touch is still needed, because now it is, if you have AI making all of your decisions, some decisions are not rational. Like, okay, if I withdrew from my account, you charged me a fee, but now you're charging me a fee because I don't have money in my account. So it's one of those things where you just like, okay, who is running the show here? And so now people are just like, okay, well, I need some type of human interaction when it comes to my money, no matter if I got a little bit of money or a lot of money. And we are heavily trained on individually and across the board in like money laundering procedures, just so many things. But I mean, even for my personal banking experience, there is no teller at my bank. And it frustrates me sometimes, because it's just like, am I in this long line to stand and look at the phone? What else could I do to streamline these things? So, it's a catch-22. And then some people, not necessarily, because some people don't like people. They don't need the human interaction when it comes to like simple transactions and things of that nature. But when it comes to transactions where you feel like somebody needs to be like using their brain or looking at it, like mortgage in underwriting, you can have a couple of checks and balances to get through the gate. But after that, you need people to rationalize and look at like your credit history, money. If you had a BK, how did you recover from that? What was that life experience where you didn't work? What did you do then? There's so many different scenarios that you have to measure. And and I don't think, and you can train AI to do all of those things. You can prompt them to do anything, but it is It's nuances that need to be addressed.
And you said, what's my next conference? My next conference is going to be TAM Phi TAM. I need to.
TAM conference.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to the TAM Phi TAM conference. I get TAM Phi TAM 24/7.
We ask you. No, but I'm going. I need to get some certs knocked out.
Yeah, smart money chick. And then you have to think about there's so many different generations going to the bank. The boomers and stuff, like my mom is 65 and she still want me to send her money through Western Union. That's not that old. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta, I think, sometimes we get ahead of ourselves in the tech conversation and who the demographic is. In certain areas, like everybody is just not at the speed of light when it comes to different things. A lot of people want to go to the post office and get a book of stamps. Me, I'm gonna print out a ship and they can pick it up from the house. It's just convenient, So it just depends. I want to go look at my vegetables. I don't like Instacart for my vegetables and stuff. I want to go look at them. I want to go smell them. I want to make sure they're fresh.
Maybe it don't be that serious for me. Put it in that bag and let's go. So I was looking up AI and boomers, and just to see how what kind of articles are out there when it comes to AI and boomers, and how they're handling it. But basically, it's all from a financial perspective for AI and boomers, because they're not working. So they're not working like that. They may work at as a greeter or something like that, but they ain't working. That's about it. And see, I got my mom finally on Zelle, and she's 78. Yeah. My mom ain't gonna get on Zelle. She'll be like, they said Zelle is bad. I ain't doing it. I'll send you a check.
Yeah, just to save, I just send it to my sister and let my sister give it to my mother. Like, I'm not about to pay Western Union extra $100. Like, it does not make any sense to me, but they are used to doing things their way.
Yep. I wonder what's the prediction when we become the no, I guess the retirees, the
When we
70
become
year
the old people, when we
yeah,
senior citizens,
yeah.
because we're Gen X. We're
Yeah,
Gen
but we
X.
go back and
So we
forth.
up next. Gen X is up next. We up next. We are one of those like really peculiar generations because we know what it was like. Like, we had our tech in a sense.
No. We created the tech
We created the tech, but we also remember, a
without tech.
rotary phone, or how tech has evolved. So it's just like, I think we're always going to be on the cusp of things, but I don't think it's going to be one of those situations where it's like, a Z where they just gotta have it. Like, I gotta have a new iPhone. I'm standing in line. Like, I don't have to have that. Like, my phone does not have to be the latest and greatest. Like, my phone work.
Like,
It's
do people
working.
know? Like, do people know what this is?
Or carrying the book around with you to take it. Like, now I remember, my first laptop was like
How
a
about
desktop.
this? How about
I do.
this? All right. Let me see. What else? Let me pull out history here. I can pull out history right here. All right here. Let me see. I think I got some other stuff I can pull out. Hold on. That's a modem. Oh, here we go. You don't even see these no more.
No, I'm in here and I'm just like, who's using this? Who last time you pulled out one of these? She pulled out a floppy disk. And she pulled it out.
I pulled a CD-ROM right out. Hold on. Got a whole cake, Office Depot.
Fresh.
Fresh
Read and write. That was important. As soon as you break open that pack, you be like, "Oh, I can't take it back. I got the wrong thing."
Fresh. It was up here. Hold on. I'm gonna give y'all a classic. Hold on, D. Before we go, I'm gonna give you classic. This first time ever, I'll give you classic. Tim as a kid. Classic.
You look exactly the same.
Tim as a kid.
Oh my gosh, at least right at the grocery store or at the mall, you can get you some music or the movies.
Tim as an older kid.
No Gap Tam.
Look, I look the same. I
You
didn't
look exactly the same.
look exactly the same. Oh, one more. Santa Claus. Tim with Santa. Black Santa.
You got a prom picture down here.
I got one right here. I got one right here. Before we go. Let me see. Oh, hold on. Baby Tam.
You know that all of this social engineering you're doing right now.
I know it. I can clip it out. Baby Tam. Oh, here go the. I don't know which prom picture you got down there.
You sitting in a chair, and there's a guy standing.
Oh, this one.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, let's sing it, prom.
It might be. I think your dress is a different color, but it might be the same picture.
Turquoise.
I'm not sure.
If it's turquoise, that's junior prom. The ponytails. That's right.
No, at least when little girls wore ribbons. That's what I am. Ribbons and goody barrettes and your little knockers. Little fluffy ponytails.
Same, look, same OG.
No, you not.
Same OG. Same person. Them ponytails is a constant in all the pictures. That's right. That's what little girls had. Put them in a ponytail. I don't know. Did parents add hair extensions back then to make kids' hair longer?
No, but they had a mighty grip. My mother said when I had about this much hair, she couldn't do nothing. She just put a hat on it and just put it to the side, little accessories. But they just connect. My grandmother used to just braid it and connect it and braid it and connect it. No, what they gonna do is grease that scalp and comb it off and get the little follicles growing. They're gonna snatch up whatever you got on there and make it cute. Oh, I didn't have a drawer. I had a little box that my mother had. I had a little box, and when it was time to get my hair done, I get my little box, and you pick it out you'll pick out your little bows and your knockers and stuff for your outfit for that day, because you didn't get your hair combed every day.
I
The
did.
same ponytails, they was in there, and you just changed the stuff out.
I got mine combed every day.
It was gonna get tied down. That's what it was gonna get. It's gonna get tied down.
Oh, my hair got
With no gel, no edge controls, some of that blue magic,
One
or
none of
that
that.
soft sheen.
One none of that.
With some water and some grease. Or when you got it pressed, it was just gonna be
Straightening
slipping down
comb.
anyway.
That old straightening comb. Sit down here so I can straighten your hair.
With the metal top from the grease. My mother always used to be like,
Get that ear in the back of that. The pink oil moisturizer. The pink oil moisturizer was afterwards. Pink oil moisturizer for us was high school.
Yeah, I was gonna say the pink came when we was older.
Yeah, pink oil moisturizer came from when we was high school.
When we was little, and nothing but little
Afro Sheen.
pomades. And then I had a curl, and I thought that was gonna save me. So my mother combed it out. She was such a hater.
All right, folks. That's Tam back down memory lane. Tam, same old G. And you also got a chance to get the Red Hat Conference information. The goal for next year for the Red Hat Conference, I'm gonna try to buy bulk tickets. I want to at least get more than what
group of us.
Yeah, I only counted 9 Black women.
Did you include yourself?
That's including myself.
Wasn't even a 10. Nobody that worked there.
I didn't include the people that worked there. I just include the people that was walking the floor. Yeah. So next year I want to take at least 10 to 15 people. So I'm working on getting some conference tickets for that for next year now. And getting that arranged so that way we can at least say it's at least 10 of us here. That's the goal. As far as black men, it's probably it wasn't that much greater. Probably about 15. It wasn't that much greater. No one number Indians, Russians, a lot of people from overseas, a lot of people from India or work at a tech company here. Just what it was. When you start seeing stuff like that, I'm starting to see less people at Red Hat conferences from the looks of it than what we normally would see, and that's a problem. That means we're not in. That means we're not in it, or it's dying, and I don't see it dying. I don't see Red Hat dying. Not if IBM just bought them for $34 billion.
And I also think it's the company's budgets, because they do rely heavily on like you attending because your company paid for it. But if your company is not paying for it, you have to foot the bill yourself. It's expensive because the prices didn't go down at all. And then not only that, it's one of those things that we discussed before. We discuss all the time is that when you go, it's usually during the week. You know, people are working during the week. If you're not getting reimbursed, that has to come out of your
not if
vacation,
you go
sick pay. You know, you basically have to reimburse yourself. So sometimes, you know, financially, does it make sense to go or to catch it when it's over? Yes.
When is Afrotech?
I don't know. I haven't been. I have not been. Is it supposed to be here in Atlanta?
It's in Austin, November the 1st through the 5th.
You going? You going?
I ain't never been. I may go.
Last time you was in Austin, you got the COVID.
Thanks for saying that out loud.
You told everybody already.
I ain't tell my mom.
She ain't down here.
Let's see. Yeah, I'm looking at the conferences. The tickets go from $500 to $2,500 for Afrotech.
I mean, but what are you getting at Afrotech? You said what's $2,500? A VIP pass?
All access pass. The executive stage, the summit stage, innovation stage, exclusive lounge, Afrotech. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I never been. I don't know what all you
I
do.
just assumed that you was reading what was in the price thing.
No, when I got the pricing, but I mean, like, I don't know who's at the conference. Like, what do you
Yeah, I
get?
didn't ask who was at the conference.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do when they're there. Well, they got one coming up in Brooklyn in September, and they had one in DC. Looks like they're doing a tour.
Like mini conference.
Because
So is
everybody,
it 3 days?
yeah. Brooklyn. It just says more info coming soon. It looks like Seattle was March the 30th, like a 1 day. Kind of what you call it did. That's what AWS did. They started having AWS summits around the United States because one, it was too full for people to come out to Vegas all the time. It's too cost too
Yeah.
much.
And then it's so expensive in Vegas. Like it's not just in one hotel. It's across many hotels.
It's many hotels and many. You got to stay many places. I mean, with the Red Hat Summit, you got 10,000 to 12,000 people. With AWS Summit, you probably got 100,000 to 200,000 people, plus the
All
people
over
that are
Vegas.
already there.
You miss out on everything. It's FOMO all over the AWS conference. You be like, I'm not going up there.
Ladies, let me tell you this, and I mean this with all sincerity. You're cute in your heels, but it don't make functional sense to be in your heels at the conference. Not if you got to walk 5 and 6 miles a day. If you want to start now and practice walking and running in heels 5 or 6 miles a day, start now, and you'll be ready for the conference. And add a piece of luggage to that because you're gonna carry a backpack, and that backpack gonna have a laptop or a tablet. So put that on your back, get your squats in like that, get on a treadmill and start walking 5 or 6 miles a day in some heels. Now, if you want to run, I suggest you probably gonna need to bump that up to a speed of 5 to 7 while you running and walking in these heels. If you can do that every single day, you'll be fine. But it just don't make sense. So be cute, confident, cozy. Get you some New Balance and be comfortable. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Because I saw a lot of women walking around in heels. They walking good and sturdy at 8 o'clock in the morning. Come about 1, 2, 3. It was like, I had to take those heels off. I couldn't, right? It just don't make sense.
Why? Why did you even play yourself like that?
It don't even make sense. So don't do it. But if you comfortable with doing that, and you think you can march through Zion like that,
More
look,
power to you.
look, if you think you can march through Zion like that, go ahead and do it.
Catch me with my tinnies on and my raglans and my sweatshirt.
I thought you said catching me with my titties on and my
Tinnies. I got my titties are always gonna be on, Tamika. I come with tea. Time for you. You need that.
All right, y'all be safe. I'm ending on that note because I don't know what Dion talking about. Don't Dion still back here. D, don't mute me.